muted?
Boom. Are we muted still? That's exactly what I wanted. Why is it muted? Perfect. We're trying our best here to not mute it.
Are we back?
Let's find out. For those watching, just type in the chat and let us know if we're muted or not, and then we'll continue.
10 computers.
Type in, are we muted still? Click much. Okay, can you hear us? Awesome.
Loud and clear.
Thank
Okay.
you, Sawyer.
Awesome.
All right, so let's start that again.
Okay, so essentially what I was saying is Blood and Iron has been with us for a long time, over 10 years now, and our students have very kindly asked us to sort of, play nice and say nice things about other people, just, you know, make things go a little smoother. But, now that we've retired from competition and, well, we feel that the time has come that, we've handed things over to them and, they're in charge of things at the school, but, we've got things to say and
Yeah, well, you know what? The reality is, you know, after all this time experience, it's time to kind of say what we think, and that's what this show's about. So this is gonna be a live stream show. Hopefully, we'll make it every 2 weeks. That's the goal. And if we have like something that we're muted because we're kind of new to this, we don't have the wizard Julian to help us with the camera setup.
or Nicholas.
Or
Nicholas
Nicholas,
is usually
yeah.
our YouTube guy, and seriously, it took me like an hour and a half to figure out how to do this.
So before we start, one integral rule: our opinions are not representative of Blood and Iron as a whole. I got to say this again. Our opinions.
Our personal opinions do not reflect upon our school or our students.
Disclaimer again for the third time. Our opinions, particularly mine,
Well,
do
no,
not
mine too.
necessarily reflect the opinions of the rest of our school. The reality is, most of our students are absolutely awesome people.
We love them to death, and that's one of the reasons why we could have played nice up until now. But you know what?
Time to say what we think. So, I mean, you're going to love it or hate it. Now, the premise of this show, kind of based off of one of my childhood heroes. I'm a Canadian, and it's no secret that I definitely watched hockey growing up.
Uh-oh.
And Don Cherry, probably one of my favorite commentators of all time, if not my favorite commentator. It's too quiet according to... Let's turn this up a bit.
How?
I'm turning it up, I think. Am I turning it up?
Better question mark? There you go.
Enter.
Okay. Okay.
Awesome. Great. Okay, so today's topic gonna be controversial, gonna piss some people off, but hey.
It's something that's been sort of burning within us for a little while now since it was first announced.
So we watched the Minsk live streams, quite a bit of it, and I mean, it's definitely been a hot topic from fighter selection, today judging. I mean, judging's always a problem in HEMA, but I mean, we'll get into that later. The Minsk was definitely special in that regard. So, I mean, we're going to have at her with this.
Well, let's start off first with the selection process.
Actually, you know what? Let's start with the good of Minsk. Let's do something good.
Okay, fine.
So, I mean, she just wants to go right into it. My buzzsaw wife here. But we got to talk about the good. So the good was Rapier Single Sword, and the good was my good friend Rob Childs, the only North American to medal. Now, when I say Rob Childs is an excellent fighter, I mean, he's probably one of the only people out there I have not been able to beat yet. He is that good. And the only way he tends to lose is if the judges are against him, which pretty much happened in the final.
Yeah, no, Rob's an admiral. We kind of refer to him as almost like the Neo of Rapier, or the Rapier god.
He is really good.
Seriously, he can take on both of us at the same time and still win, and we're actually not bad. So
yeah, we win a lot, but man, he really is good. Like that, like all joking aside, he's excellent. He's probably one of the few members of the Minsk team to legitimately be there. And had there been a tournament, which there should have been, and we'll get into that later, he would have 100% made the Rapier selection.
Oh no, absolutely, he would have been my first choice. Absolutely, there would have been no question there. I can't think of anyone better.
Yeah, so he medaled. So congratulations to our friend there. We watched his final match. Judging was pretty atrocious. I mean, it's Euro judging at its finest, but what do you expect? I wasn't expecting anything better. I don't think he was either. I mean...
I'm ever hopeful, though.
I'm ever hopeful, too. I watch the stuff, and I'm like, maybe this year will be better. But it never is. And I'm always, like, disappointed. But, I mean, hopefully, in 5 years, we'll see better judging in HEMA. So, I would definitely say the big thing in the Rapier stuff we watched, there's absolutely no ability to judge sufficient contact or accurately judge any contact, which was shocking. But, I mean, when you have a director who's not really a Rapier fighter in that match, it's expected.
It is something really important that we've discovered over the years. If you're going to be judging an event or marshalling an event, you really should fight with that weapon, and fight with that weapon well. Rapier is one of the things that it can be hard to see and hard to follow. So, I mean, if you don't actually fight with it, it can be a problem. It really can be a problem. And we saw that absolutely in the Minsk Rapier final that we watched. There was so much that was missed. And I think I could have done so much better.
Definitely could have, right? Mm-hmm. Especially because it was considered a big moment for HEMA. Mm-hmm. I mean, we should have sent our best to North America, and we'll get into that as well. Another good thing in the Rapier Single Sword is that I was told Miles Cup defeated Francisco Loda. Excellent, very good for Miles. He's like probably upper middle tier here in North America. He's a good fencer. He's solid. I mean, consistent performance.
I always like watching him.
Yeah. Always like stabbing in the face. I mean,
that too.
But I mean, he's consistently puts a good show on, and has consistent good sportsmanship, and is overall pretty good fighter. Was he the best choice for Team North America? Clearly, he was probably a pretty solid choice considering he was placed in top 8. So that's actually pretty good, right? Loda, I watch his videos, never impressed me, and I would have bet on Miles Cup if there was like a HEMA betting site. I would have bet on Miles Cup, and I probably would have made money.
No, fair enough.
So let's go into Team North America's performance here. I mean, this was pretty dismal. I'm not gonna lie. Having one person take a silver medal, considering like the depth of talent across the continent from Canada and Mexico, is a pretty good indicator of mismanagement.
Oh yeah, no, the pool of fighters they had to choose from, considering all of North America. This is Canada, U.S., and Mexico. They had so many people they could have chosen, and the ones that they did choose, well,
it was a pretty weak team.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. It's not very nice to say, but man, like considering like the depth of talent they could have taken from, especially the longsword, my God. It was absolutely abysmal. So the big thing is like someone like Mackenzie, who's a good fighter. Definitely was happy to see him there. I mean, didn't look like he had the best day today when I went through his video, but I mean, fought fairly well. But I mean, you can't have in a team of 5 people. You can't have one heavy lifter.
that's true.
Essentially, that's basically what there was: single heavy lifter. And I mean, considering that the other teams were like stacked, I mean, it's just numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, there was pretty much a lot of weak choices peppered this team. There were I could list a lot of bad choices. 'Cause I'm sure I'm gonna get asked. So people I would have considered for longsword in this team, like number one, Jeremy Halliday, probably the best thrust in North America right now. Fast, athletic, accurate, unbelievable. One of the hardest fights I've ever fought career wide for me. Was he there? Nope, not considered. I mean, got another guy, John Patterson, wins tons of stuff. Excellent fighter.
Yeah.
Jeremy Pace, he's like pretty much the new big fighter out in the southeast there, in southwest. Really good, based out of Oklahoma, and his training partner Nash. If you're gonna go east, you have Schober out there too. So I mean,
There's Sean Fackler as well.
yeah, Sean Fackler. I mean, but Sean Fackler would fight with everything. Like God, there's not weapons that he can't win with.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Sean Fackler also. So you got these guys here who probably would have been the thing. And the false edge says, yeah, I think politics played a lot of that. Don't worry, we're gonna say something about that too.
We got tons to say about that. Trust me.
Yeah. So
But I mean, looking at Team North America, yes, these are great. But I mean, you're kind of forgetting the ones down in Mexico too. I mean, I would have loved to see Arturo Camargo on that list.
Camargo, man,
Yes.
Arturo Camargo. I can't say enough good things about him as a fencer.
Mm.
Like I just fenced him a few months ago when I was down there, and he's still challenging. He's always fighting. He's constantly getting better. He's probably in the best shape he's been in. I mean,
he's also very well rounded. I mean, you could have had him in rapier. You could have had him in the sword and buckler.
If someone was injured, you could just sub him in.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just really a strong all around fighter, and with a long sword, he probably would have blown the doors off of 4 of the 5 of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's just excellent, and like he was on the alternates list, and I mean,
even when someone dropped out, they chose who was it that
they chose
replaced him?
Jesse Culla.
Who? Yeah,
doesn't really won very much.
I thought
if
the
anything.
point of an alternates list was you take somebody that was on that list and put them forward when somebody dropped out.
But this is politics, and when you have politics over skill, I mean, someone's got to call it out. Looks like it's got to be us.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, hey, it is what it is. So I mean, like Arturo Camargo definitely should have been a guy who wasn't considered, sadly enough. Christoph Delgado,
Oh, yeah.
the other really serious
The
fighter.
Mexican monster.
Yeah, he really is strong. He's a strong fighter in both rapier and longsword. Also would have been an excellent pick.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if you're gonna go kind of old school, a guy who still can fight with a rapier pretty well would have been Roberto Loyal. Like,
Yes.
also really good with a rapier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he could have represented rapier quite well as well.
Yeah.
So, in all fairness, Mexico. In Canada, now we get to Canada. Jeez.
Hey, we had one person that was chosen for all of Canada, which I suppose is lucky, seeing as Mexico really didn't have anyone.
Well, they had more Macias, but I mean,
Oh, okay,
I don't
sorry.
think he was ready. But
Okay.
he's a nice guy, but I actually don't think he was ready. And I think there's guys in Mexico who probably, like someone like Delgado, like Nava Delgado would have just smoked him.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
So that's just the sad truth. That's just how it is. It's nothing personal, but it's all about merit for me.
Yeah,
Nothing
no.
more.
But speaking on Canada's representative, was she the best choice for all of Canada? Well, we don't think so. There's tons of better people up here that can fence longsword. And,
Yeah, Jade definitely was not the best choice. There's it was her choice. Choosing her was at the expense of a guy like Jesse Tucker, for
Yes.
example.
or
probably
Kime or Julius
Stephen-
Schutze or any of those guys.
Stephen Kime also wins medals repeatedly. I think he has like 23 medals. I mean, Jesse Tucker, I fought him 9 finals in my career.
True enough.
Like Jesse Tucker, next to myself, is probably the most decorated fighter in the entire country. He's been representing Canada in competition since like the second Festival America.
Yes. True.
Yeah, like I mean, he's like loads of experience. I think he has over 30 medals on the wall,
Mhm.
and he's just an absolute like tournament monster. He's the only other person in the club that is like legitimately doing that. There's a guy, Orlando DeCiccio, out of Quebec we could have picked for Canada as well if we didn't want to go within Blood and Iron. I mean, there's some other guys out of the Forge aren't bad either, or Edmonton.
Or if you're looking for a rapier, Bo Brock would have been an
Well,
interesting
Brock
choice.
would have been an excellent choice. I mean, and he's
Yeah.
based out of Ottawa, Emma Ottawa.
Mhm.
I mean, so Canada has other talent. We didn't really send our best, sadly, and I mean, I felt that our country was definitely underrepresented. Not to the degree Mexico was, which is a travesty, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's better athletes in Canada and better choices in general. So, I mean, we'll get to sword and buckler before we get to politics. So sword and buckler. Sword and Buckler did not look so good. What?
Oh,
Whoop.
somebody, sorry, Ramino's asking if we know any good HEMA schools in Texas.
I'm pretty sure there is, but I'll definitely look it up for you. If you send us an email, anything like that that's off topic today, if you send us an email, I'll look into it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. info@bloodandIron.ca. You
Correct.
can contact us.
Yep, no problem. But yeah, so Sword and Buckler, sadly, I mean, I expected more from. I was seeing Kyle Griswold on the list. I was excited. I mean, he's a decorated Sword and Buckler fighter. He's a tough customer. I fought him many times, lost to him once.
Mhm.
And I was really hoping to see more out of him out of the tournament.
Yes.
I did watch his videos. It definitely was not at his best, unfortunately, and he didn't make it that far. So he was a good hope for North America, but his fighting was definitely below like his normal performance level. It looks like probably gotta go back to the drawing board and improve his training. Sadly, I mean, I like the guy. He's a great fighter, but
Well, it's one of the things that happens when you make the transition from student to teacher, and he started his own club now, and he's not really
with
training.
Phoenix.
Yeah, his training partners as much anymore. So, and we find it for ourselves as well. When you sort of remove yourself from regular training and set yourself up and teaching, you're not challenged as much, and your skill level does drop a little bit, and it's just something that happens until you build up your students till they can start kicking your ass again.
That's also true, and that really is a big thing. You're only as good as your training partners.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
So I mean, and that's the hardest thing to say. Like you owe your fighting skill. Like I owe my fighting skill. I built my training partners, and Nicole and I started our club together, and our training partners built us. And without those people, like you're only going to be as strong as the best you can be by yourself. And they'll never be stronger than a group that has dedicated training partners, dedicated practice, and people who show up regularly and are there to challenge you.
Yeah, well, that's the whole reason we started our competition team, was just because you needed some challenges.
That's true, and I certainly got them back in spades. They beat me up more than I beat them up now, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was a very, very narrow wins for some of the ones you had at VHG.
But back onto Sword and Buckler, right? Yep. I mean, I watched all the fighting in the tournament. Sadly, it did not, like, for an art that should look better, it didn't look so good. So I mean, I think they'll have to probably go. The Minsk team will have to probably go back to the drawing board and find some better rules solutions, or some better judging solutions, or probably it all. I mean, and then get it fixed, because it definitely needed to improve. Like, I was definitely unimpressed. Sword and Dagger, North America representative, not very good. I mean, 1,000 bear picks. Tim Kaufman, not so hot. I mean, he never impressed me with his fencing. I could think of probably 30 people off the top of my head that would be better. Even that guy who recently came in from El Paso, now he's out in Carolinas.
I'm sorry, I'm bad with names.
Yeah, me too. He goes by Julian. He goes by Julian on Facebook. He knows exactly who he is. Really cool dude. Fences in the SCA. Excellent challenge. He would have been better. I mean, I could think of probably 30 more people. Sean Fackler would have been like ideal to have out there.
Get Jesse Tucker back out there. He nearly beat you in
yeah,
last tournament.
Jesse Tucker would have done a lot better too. I mean, like Rob Childs and Miles Cup definitely could use some backup. But in the Sword and Dagger department, there's so many good choices in North America. We definitely need to take a top choice. Total political pick. Definite failure there. Mm-hmm. So now we're gonna start looking at like the politics of this, which is really the key, the crux of the problem in the HEMA community, is this crushing politics. It's not about merit, it's about like making people feel good. And unfortunately, like Team North America's failure doesn't really rest on its athletes as much as it rests solely on Jake Norwood and Mike Edelson, who are the delegates.
Yeah, no. When it came to this selection process, you just kind of wonder how they made their choices. It was never really made clear as to what the criteria was, what they were using to decide.
You asked them directly, and they wouldn't give you an answer.
I never got a direct answer. And it's one of the things, I'll give them this. It is a real challenge when you have an entire continent and you only have 10 spots to give away. And they're very, very indentured on the East Coast, so they're very familiar with the fighters out there, but they had no idea what's happening in the West Coast.
They know. They choose not to know.
Well, still,
you cannot give them that much in the age of the internet. They know what's good. It was just political picks, and you know what? You can't give them any slack and saying that they had no choice to make just picks. Russia, which is huge, it's a huge country.
They held a tournament. Yeah.
They held a tournament, and guess what? The proof's in the pudding. The Russians cleaned up this weekend. I wonder why. They had a tournament. Chose their best athletes. right?
Oh, sad.
Yeah. Oh, that looks like Morgan. Hi,
Hello,
Morgan.
Morgan. The state of hemopolitics, the general tournament scene seems fed by mediocre fighters.
We'll get into that.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's just go back to our original thought here. So the reality is the Russians did it the right way. They went out, they held a tournament, they put their best fighters in all the best categories, they stacked the deck, which is what you're supposed to do when you're going into a competition.
Yeah,
You stack the
it
deck.
seems like everyone else took this seriously except Team North America.
Well, I don't think Mike Edelson, Jake Norwood were competent enough to do this job. I mean, they didn't have what it takes to sit and analyze video, invite the right people, and host the tournament they needed to host to make it fair.
I don't even think they needed to analyze video. All they would have to do is host the tournaments. And even if you wanted to do it regionally, have set up, one for the West Coast region. Like, one of the things that they said when they were choosing their candidates is they kind of divided it into regions and chose people from those places. Well, you could have done the same thing with a tournament. And yes, okay, not everyone can afford to travel, but then not everyone can afford to go to Minsk either. So you would have the people that would be able to travel going to these regional tournaments and then qualifying for Minsk afterwards. So yeah, no, I don't see any reason why we couldn't have done it that way.
So yeah, that's really a big thing. Could we have done it this way? Yes, right?
Would have been a much better choice.
But at the same time, I don't even like that way. I think we should have held a central tournament, had it in the center, and I don't care.
Oh, hey, we just lost something.
We lost our thing.
No, I think the camera somehow turned off. How? Why is camera turned off?
Take a look.
Press start stop button. Okay. Oh, is it back now?
Let's find out.
Well, it says I think we're still streaming, are we not?
I think we are.
Confirm.
Just throw the chat up there really quick. Are we still on?
Video went out.
Screen went dark.
All right, see if we got back.
Stick
Says
with.
it's live.
Okay. Let's see if I can get this thing going. I see you there.
Audio never left, just video. Okay.
How about this? I got the record on.
Yeah.
Is that working again?
Not yet. Screen's still dark.
Okay.
Now it's only sound. Audio is fine. Video is gone. I keep getting this. Why do we have no video?
I don't know. Is it on yet?
No.
You're on delay.
Having.
Stupid camera. Is it up?
Nope, it is not.
Try that.
It's still not coming up here, but apparently we do have sound. So it's still streaming, but it's not.
I don't know why this thing is not streaming.
Okay, why would it turn off? Having technical difficulties.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to get it to work. It's showing it up there. You'll see. Camera's dead. Mic is working fine.
Okay, so should I hit this button again and see what happens?
We're going to try and get this video back up and running. I'm trying to get this thing going. No idea why it's not streaming.
Is it there now?
Nope, it is not. Do you want to try? We're just going to restart this stream. Let's just restart the whole stream.
Okay.
And we'll continue from our topic there as a part 2.
Okay, hang in there, peeps. I'm sorry.
Be careful, don't screw with it anymore.
I'm trying not to. Alright.
Just go through your thing.
Okay. Alright guys, here goes. We're gonna cut this one and we're gonna restart.